The jogger's shoes slapped the pavement so fast it sounded like gunfire, and Karen, sipping her overpriced latte, nearly choked on her outrage. In her world, nobody ran that fast unless they were guilty of something, probably stealing her peace. The suburban park, usually a sleepy haven of manicured lawns and chirping birds, was about to become a battlefield. Karen, with her bob haircut sharper than her tongue, had been itching for a fight all morning. Her eyes locked onto the jogger, a young woman named Aisha, whose only crime was outrunning Karen's patience and prejudice. Aisha's breath came in steady, controlled bursts, her ponytail bouncing with each stride. She was in the zone, earbuds blasting a hip-hop playlist, oblivious to the storm brewing behind Karen's designer sunglasses. The park was crowded that Saturday, families picnicking, kids chasing frisbees, and dog walkers tangled in leashes. But Karen saw none of it. All she saw was Aisha, a black woman in neon running gear, moving too fast for Karen's fragile sense of control. "She's up to something," Karen muttered to herself, clutching her phone like a weapon. Her fingers hovered over 911, her heart racing with a mix of fear and self-righteous fury. It started with a shout. "Hey! Slow down!" Karen's voice cut through the park like a siren, shrill and commanding. Aisha, startled, pulled out one earbud and glanced back, confused. She slowed her pace, assuming Karen was warning her about some obstacle, a kid, a dog, maybe a pothole. But Karen's face was a mask of rage, her lips curled into a sneer. "You don't belong here, running like that," she spat, her words dripping with venom. Aisha froze, her chest heaving, the weight of those words hitting harder than any sprint. The park fell silent, heads turning, phones rising to capture the moment. Aisha's first instinct was to laugh, bitter, disbelieving. "I'm just jogging," she said, her voice calm but edged with steel. She'd dealt with Karens before, but this one felt different. Dangerous. Karen stepped closer, her latte sloshing over the cup's rim. "Don't lie to me. I know your type, running through here, scaring people, probably stealing something." The accusation was absurd, but Karen's conviction was terrifying. Aisha's eyes darted to the crowd, searching for an ally, but most faces were blank, curious, or uncomfortably averted. A few teens snickered, their cameras rolling. Karen's voice grew louder, her words uglier. "You people always think you can do whatever you want," she screamed, the racial slur slicing through the air like a blade. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Aisha's jaw tightened, her fists clenching. She wanted to scream back, to unleash the hurt and anger boiling inside her, but she knew better. She'd seen the videos, knew how these moments could spiral. Instead, she stood tall, her voice steady. "Call the cops if you want. I'm not breaking any laws." Her defiance only fueled Karen's rage. With a dramatic flourish, Karen dialed 911, her voice trembling with fake panic. "There's a suspicious person in the park. She's threatening me." The crowd thickened, a mix of whispers and murmurs. Some shook their heads at Karen's theatrics, others muttered support, their biases aligning with hers. Aisha stood her ground, her heart pounding but her face composed. She knew the truth was on her side, but truth didn't always win in moments like these. The teens kept filming, their phones catching every word, every gesture. One of them, a lanky kid named Marcus, zoomed in on Karen's face, her slurs now immortalized in high definition. "This is going viral," he whispered to his friend, a grin spreading across his face. Minutes later, sirens wailed in the distance. Karen's smirk faltered, she hadn't expected them to arrive so fast. Two officers stepped out of the patrol car, their faces neutral but weary. They'd seen this script before. "What's going on here?" the older officer, Sergeant Daniels, asked, his eyes scanning the crowd. Karen launched into her story, her voice a mix of victimhood and indignation. She was running like a maniac, scaring everyone. "I told her to stop, and she got aggressive." Aisha's eyes widened, but she stayed silent, letting Karen dig her own grave. The second officer, a younger woman named Officer Ruiz, turned to Aisha. "Your side?" she asked, her tone calm but firm. Aisha explained, her voice steady despite the adrenaline. "I was jogging my usual route. She started yelling, called me slurs, and called you guys. I didn't do anything wrong." The officers exchanged a glance. Marcus, still filming, stepped forward. "I got it all on video," he said, holding up his phone. "She's lying. Check it out." The mood shifted. Karen's face paled as Marcus played the footage, the audio crystal clear. Her slurs echoed through the park, undeniable and damning. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, a mix of shock and disgust. Sergeant Daniels watched the video, his expression hardening. "Ma'am," he said, turning to Karen, "you're aware it's illegal to make false reports and use hate speech?" Karen stammered, her confidence crumbling. Two was just protecting the neighborhood. But the officers weren't buying it. They issued her a citation for disorderly conduct and filing a false report, each word a blow to her fragile ego. Aisha stood silently, her victory bittersweet. The crowd began to disperse, some offering her nods of support, others avoiding her gaze. Marcus gave her a fist bump, his video already uploaded to X, racking up views by the second. But as the adrenaline faded, Aisha felt the weight of the moment settle in her chest. She'd won, but at what cost? The sting of Karen's words lingered, a reminder of how quickly a routine jog could turn into a public trial. Karen, meanwhile, slunk back to her SUV, the ticket crumpled in her hand. She'd expected to be the hero, the protector of her pristine suburb. Instead, she was the villain, her face plastered across X, her words dissected by strangers online. The fine $500 was nothing compared to the humiliation. She drove off, the park's wooden signpost flashing in her rearview mirror, its handwritten message mocking her, Karen's rage, a jogger's ordeal. Aisha resumed her run, her pace slower now, her mind heavy. She thought about her grandmother, who'd faced worse than Karen's tantrum, decades of systemic hate, brushed off as just how things were. Aisha had grown up hearing those stories, but today, she'd lived one. The park felt different now, its beauty tainted by the memory of Karen's voice. Yet Aisha kept running, her steps a quiet act of defiance. She wouldn't let one woman's hate steal her freedom. The video spread like wildfire. By evening, Karen vs. Jogger was trending, sparking debates across X. Some called Karen a product of her environment, others a blatant bigot. Aisha's supporters praised her restraint, while others questioned why she didn't fight back harder. The comments ranged from heartfelt to hateful, exposing the raw divide in the community. Aisha avoided her phone, knowing the online storm would only deepen her exhaustion. The next day, Karen issued a half-hearted apology on X, claiming she'd been misunderstood. It was met with scorn, her words drowned out by the video's undeniable truth. Aisha, meanwhile, met with a local reporter, sharing her story not for fame but to reclaim her narrative. She spoke of resilience, of running as her escape, and of the hope that one day, a jog wouldn't feel like a battle. Her words resonated, but they couldn't erase the pain. The park returned to its usual rhythm, but the echoes of that day lingered. Aisha kept running, her route unchanged, her spirit unbroken but scarred. Karen's fine was paid, her reputation shattered, but the real cost was Aisha's a reminder that even in victory, some wounds don't heal. The wooden signpost stood as a silent witness, its handwritten words a testament to a moment that exposed the ugliness beneath the suburb's polished surface. What do you think? Did Karen's punishment fit her actions, or does justice demand more? Share your thoughts on where the line falls between accountability and understanding in conflicts like these.